Ken Wilber writes about how often when we are scared or angry, we don't just feel that reaction in our brains, but we exhibit it throughout our body. And if we try to repress that, often we can tighten our muscles and kind of restrain it in a physical sense. And we start tying up muscles, and we put that energy in that darkness, or whatever we're doing, whatever we're subduing at that time, we put it in that area, and it can create a knot in your back or in your stomach or something. And so often, when people have a transcendent moment in a high, say through psychedelics, through marijuana, they have the ability to seemingly tap into their visual cortex and kind of ride that through a maze at times, sometimes a road, but it's usually this winding, meandering path that takes you to this place where if you are suppressing a negative emotion, it's likely a place of darkness. If you're subduing maybe excitement because you don't feel you're worthy or whatever, maybe it's not darkness, maybe it's something else. But you tap into that, again, seemingly visual cortex, find this place. It's your brain saying, you're doing something here. There's something here that needs to be dealt with. And when you have a transcendent moment, I was speaking to somebody close to me, and they said that when they felt that they had this ego death, they saw a gremlin come out of their chest. And they had just stomach pains. And I've heard of people who are so afraid because of death, say they're dying of cancer, and they trip, and then they see their fear is right underneath their lungs, and they've had chest pains, and we secure these subdued emotions physically. Well, he talks about the centaur body, and the centaur is not a man or a horse. It's both. It's a man and a horse. And if it's a man and a horse, a man does not whip himself to go faster, right? So the horse isn't going to kick itself to go faster. The man's not going to punch himself to try and go faster. So the centaur is not going to whip his butt trying to go a little bit faster, or put a spur in his hand and grind it on his back legs to make him go faster. He's going to just by sheer will go faster. And that centaur awareness is that consciousness tied to the physical form. And I believe that the psychedelics actually allow people to tap into the centaur awareness without even realizing what they're doing. And it allows them to connect areas of the brain which you really don't need if your point is to be smarter in order to live and have a competitive advantage, whether it be in the savannah or try not to get eaten by a lion or a tiger or brain bashed in by a baboon or something. The point is that you've got to be able to calculate and work better within a society and be smarter and do better and faster, stronger, whatever. And it's very interesting how it makes us much better at working together as a community, and much better at forgiving ourselves of our trespasses, but not in a somebody trying not to be held accountable, but sheer forgiveness, which means that you also can forgive others, right? You can forgive yourself, you can forgive others. And it brings a certain benefit to society to be able to do this and to be able to shed one of one's fear and one's pain and one's anger, as well as helping others learn that, right? We learn through experience, we learn by watching, we learn by seeing other people respond to very stressful situations, and often we will emulate them. And so I think the psychedelics are a great way to get one to this point. Granted, I have only presented you with anecdotes, but I think these are very powerful anecdotes. And the point is that whatever trip you have, as I understand, the research now suggests that you get out of it what you go into it. So if you want to have a religious experience, you're likely going to have a religious experience. If you just want to get high, you're likely just going to get high. And so it's predicated upon your intent. And so your intent can be used to try to heal yourself. Your intent can be used to try and get past pain or get past anger or get past stress. And it can be used in a wonderful way. It can also be used in an addictive way, because some people, have much more addictive personalities, and while the drug itself has no addictive properties, these psychedelics, they do, people can get addicted to just the habit of it. You do something for 21 days and that's now forming a habit. And sometimes just being naughty is what people get addicted to. So the drugs are interesting. They seem to have a lot of promise. And I think that if more people, whether do a microdose or do ketamine, I've never done ketamine myself, but I've heard such amazing results from people quite close to me. Get past literally the darkest places in their lives. They go to the darkest place in their life. They're able to get past it because they're able to forgive themselves. And the ego doesn't know how to necessarily forgive itself. It's injured and you don't deal with it, so it stays injured from that point. And you might be able to cognitively think of certain things and cognitively think why you've evolved, but your ego hasn't evolved from that painful moment because you decided not to deal with it. And it can cause lots of problems. So it allows you in your present mind to get a certain perspective and really move past a lot of problems that we create for ourselves. We're self-sabotaging for whatever reason. We love to self-sabotage, and that's how you do it, man. I'm sure there's other ways. I'm sure plenty of people get it through therapy. This just seems a much more visceral way of having that healing, but again, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you just want to be lazy and do it just a trip, then you'll probably just have a fun trip. But it can be great healing experiences for those who really need it.